Kia ora, what's up, what's going on? Welcome to my channel. My name is Shane over at Mod My Box. In this episode I'm going to show you how to 3D print your STL files for your X console that fits the Xbox 360 Slim inside of it. You can obtain these STL files from various websites in the description below. You can also support me on Patreon, where you can also obtain videos and also some good stuff there. So let's get started. So first off, obviously you're going to need a 3D printer. This is my Creality. Actually all of my printers are Creality. I have 3 of them. That one there and that one there. That's my biggest, the Creality CR10S5. So you're going to need something bigger than, I'd say about 300 millimeters on the build space area. Using PLA for the filament. This is generic stuff. You can see there, silver for most of everything. And of course the transparent for the center window. The print settings for the chassis, or the main part of the console, as you can see there, I'm using a 1mm nozzle. The quality is 0.32. As you can see there, most of the settings here are default, with the exception of the infill and using the build plate adhesion as brim. So just follow what I have here. See, the infill is 20%. Printing temperature is around 200 to 210. I usually use 210. Print speed, yeah, usually around about 80. You don't want to do 100, especially if something goes wrong. You'll regret it later. So cooling, make sure your cooling fan is on. Support, you don't need that. There we go, brim for the build plate adhesion. Any other setting, we won't touch it. And just take a preview look at it. As you can see there, everything looks good, looks sealed. So here are the measurements. As you can see here, you will need a big printer. If you have a small one, you could possibly cut the console in half and then glue it together. And here it is, printing on the Creality CR10S5. Now for the back plate, or the back end of the console, everything is the same as the chassis. I have not changed anything at all, so just keep it all the same. Let's take a look through the preview. Everything looks good, nice and solid. And of course its dimensions. Again, you're going to need a big printer. You could probably print it in quarters or in halves. It's totally up to you on your situation. And here it is, printing on the Creality CR10S5 again. Next up is the motherboard tray. Again, the settings have not been changed. It is all the same for all 3 parts. Here we go again with the preview. Everything looks good. And again, its dimensions. And here we are printing again on the Galaxy S10 5. Next is the on and off part 2. Settings are still the same. I haven't changed anything at all. Just leave it as it is. Let's take a look at the preview. Everything looks good. And here it is printing on the Creality Ender Pro 3. Next up is the sync panel. As you can see there, I've left it on 20% infill using the 1mm nozzle, and everything else stays the same. Just take a quick look at the preview. Looks good. And also its dimensions, which is 20 by 20. This is in millimeters. Here it is printing. Next up is the on and off part 1. Settings are all the same. Nothing has changed. Here is again printing on the Creality Ender Pro 3. I've changed the settings for the window. It is the only setting I have changed, which is the infill. I've changed it to 100%. Other than that, everything else is the same. And here it is printing on the Creality Ender Pro 3. And here is the on and off switch part 3 using the 1mm nozzle and 100% infill, and all the other settings are the same. And here's printing open. Lastly are the 4 screws. I have not changed any settings here. They are the same as the window. The infill is still at 100%. And here it is printing on the Creality Ender Pro 3. So here are the final results. We have the motherboard tray, the chassis, we have the back plate, we also have the window and the on and off 1, 2 and 3 parts. We also have the screws and the synchronization back plate. That's it for this video. In the next one I'll show you how to set up all the electronics. So if I piqued your interest or you learned something today, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Share.